Welcome. And today I made a face mask with an attached scarf. Let's put it on. The ear straps. Okay, since I wear glasses, I'm going to place it under my glasses. Nice lacy edge. I have the straps. And this is long for draping around the neck. I'm going to crisscross the straps behind my neck and let it drop down. I have long hair, but I think I'd rather show you the scarf instead. Come, join me. And let's make this summer weight face mask with attached scarf together. Let's get started. The materials and the tools we will be using: a 3.25 crochet hook, a large eye tapestry needle that'll work for the thread we're going to be using, a pair of scissors, and here I have Paton's crochet cotton thread called Grace. It is a size 3 yarn or cotton thread. It's about the size of a baby yarn, but it's all cotton. That's what we're looking for. To make our mask, we're going to be doing 2 halves. So I'm going to show you how to do 1 half. The second half will be exactly the same, and then we will sew them together. So let's start with a slip knot on our hook and our 6-inch tail. Let's chain 11. Please continue. I will meet you after you chain 11. Skip your first chain. In your second chain, single crochet. I pick up 2 parts of my chain. You notice the chain has 3 parts. I pick up 2 parts. Consider using those 2 parts instead of just one. To me, the one stretches the loop out and doesn't give a nice finish. In this row, we're going to do 10 single crochets. I've done 4. Continue to the end of the row. Chain 2 and turn your work. Half double crochet in the next 10 stitches across, 1 per stitch. At the end of the row, chain 2 and then do 2 more rows of half double crochet, 10 per row. Please pause your video. I will meet you there. Chain 3 and let's turn our work. We're going to double crochet in the first 6 stitches. Number 5 and number 6. Going to skip the next stitch, and in that next stitch we're going to place our shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. As we do this, I will refer to the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets as our shell. We're going to skip our next stitch. We have 1 stitch left, 1 double crochet. Chain 3 and turn our work. In our chain 1 space, we're going to place our shell. The previous row shell, we're going to skip 2, and in the third one we're going to place 2 double crochets. I know that's something you normally don't do, but because this is for a face mask, we're trying to close in as much as possible. And then 1 double crochet to the end of the row, chain 3, and I'll meet you there. Moving on, we're going to double crochet in the first 7 stitches. I will meet you right here. In our next stitch, we're going to place 2 double crochet. We're going to go all the way to our chain 1 and place in our shell. After our shell, we're going to place 1 double crochet, the shell of the 3 from the previous row. We're going to go right into the third one. We're not going to go into the top of the chain. We're going to go into that third one. And this is what we have so far. So let's chain 3 and turn our work. I have a confession to make. A lot of times you see me stopping so quickly. It's because my yarn gets tangled. I pulled out an ample amount, but sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate. So we're going to go ahead and shell in our chain 1 space. Okay, coming up on our 3rd double crochet. All right, skip 2 double crochets into the 3rd one, 2 double crochets. One double crochet till the end of the row. Chain 3, turn your work. Over the next 8 stitches, 1 double crochet. And then I will meet you there. Yes, my yarn tangled up again. In our next stitch, we have 3 left before our shell. We're going to place 2 double crochet, the next stitch gets 1 double crochet, and then the next one gets 2. Continue with your shell and the double crochet in the 3rd double crochet, chain 3, and I'll meet you there. So after our chain 3, we'll do our shell, in our first stitch after we skip the 2 double crochet, in our next stitch 2 double crochet, one double crochet per stitch the rest of the row. Chain 3, and let's turn our work. We're getting a nice edging here. So in the first 13 stitches, let's place 1 double crochet per stitch. Continue till you get to 13 stitches. After the 13, we have 3 stitches left. 2 double crochet in the 1 stitch. The next one gets 1 double crochet, and that third one gets 2 double crochet. Shell in the chain 1 space, double crochet in that 3rd double crochet of the shell, chain 3, and I'll meet you there. Remember our chain 3 and shell, the increase on this particular row after our shell will be a little bit different. Trying to get a little bit more curvature for our nose so that we can still have this nice decorative edge. So after skipping the first 2 double crochets of the previous row, in that 3rd one we're going to place 3 double crochets, in the next stitch 2 double crochets, one double crochet to the end of the row, chain 3. And this is what we have so far. We're almost there. So in the first 19 stitches, we're going to do 1 double crochet per stitch. After our 19 double crochets, you should have 3 stitches left. Next, we'll do 2 double crochet, one double crochet in the next stitch, and 3 in that next stitch. continue on with the shell in the chain 1 space and double crochet in that 3rd double crochet of the previous row, and then chain 3. We're almost halfway. Okay, so we're going to shell in our shell, chain 1 space, and then skipping those 2, and in the 3rd double crochet 3 double crochets, two in our next stitch, then 1 double crochet down to the rest of the row, chain 3, and then turn, and that will be our final row after we add on those next stitches to conform to the curve. Alright, for our last row on this side, you can stay seated now, no jumping and hollering yay. Okay, so we're going to do 20 double crochets, and when we get down to that other end down here, I'll show you what to do. So 20 double crochets. Okay, so after the 20, we're going to do 2 half double crochets, two single crochets, and 1 slip stitch. And this is the shape that we have. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Okay, so we'll have our curvature for our nose and down to our mouth. We need to make a second one. So if you want to get started, chain 11, 10 single crochets, chain 2, 10 half double crochets. You want to do the half double crochets for a total of 3 rows. And I'll put a time thing on there where we can start on the next row. That will start with the shell and the 6 double crochets. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Please pause your video. Isn't the magic of video awesome? Okay, so for our first one, we need to weave in the end. Our second one, make sure that if you leave a tail long enough, you won't have to attach, and so you can sew on to the next. So I'm going to go ahead and sew in this tail on the front, and this tail on the foundation of my second piece, and I will meet you there so we can sew our face mask together. So I have all my ends weaved in, and I've threaded my needle. So what I'd like to do is take my needle and bring it through all of this here. And the reason why we're going to the top is so that we can start and make sure that we have the correct number of stitching. Okay, so I'm gonna go back a couple of times so I don't tighten the stitch. Of course this happens. Okay, and let's go back to where we were at. That'll help keep it from stretching. Okay, so we're going to take these two and line them up together. And we're going to do a running stitch. So make sure your two shells line up at the chain one. And then we're going to go through the two chains on each one, and we're going to lock this because this will be a stress point, and you would want to make sure that it doesn't come apart. So we're going to go through it twice. So here's one, and then here's number two. Now in the process of doing this running stitch, we're only going to pick up one chain at a time. So come through here and come up through the center of this one chain on the other side. Bring your needle through and then come down to the next one and pick up just the one, pull it through, and then we'll go to the next. This is what is called a ladder stitch, and we will continue to do this all the way down till we get to the end. So continue doing that, take your time with it, and I'll meet you there. So I'm down here at the bottom. I came through, so now I'm going to take my needle and go back, because this is a stress point. I'm going to go through that a couple of times. The way that we have done it here, this will be the front of the mask, unless you choose to place the other side as the front of your mask. So I'm going to take my thread to the back, and I'm going to go down the stitching and weave in to finish it off. So if you look at our mask after we have sewn it, we do have a nice little curvature for the nose and enough to stretch around the face. I purchased a styrofoam head to get a better display of what the mask will look like on. I know I haven't placed it in the proper area. Now, this styrofoam head is not the same as my head, just to let you know. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place a chain stitch to wrap around our ears, and then we're going to come down through here and finish our edge. So with a 6-inch tail, we're going to go ahead and place a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to join right here right after that first single crochet with a single crochet. This will be used to weave in or stitching later. Okay, snug up so you don't have any loose ends, and then begin your chain. I'm going to chain 25, but you need to make the chains that will fit right for your ears. So when you place this on your nose and pull it across your face, make a chain, a number that you can keep track of, wrap it around your ears until it touches the bottom. If that number is correct for you, go ahead and remember that, so when we come across to the other side, you can place the same thing with the chain stitches for the other side. And then we will finish here. This is a finished edge. So to let you know what mine was, I placed 20 chains on my hook, and it fits just fine for the halfway version. So after we've done that, we want to make sure that our chain is not twisted. If it is twisted, like mine is, you want to untwist it, so when we loop it over to the other side, we can go ahead and have a nice straight chain, and then we're going to start with a single crochet right here. So go ahead and figure out what you think you need, join with a single crochet, and I'll meet you then. Please pause your video. When you join with the single crochet, make sure you snug it up. We want it to fit properly. Chain 1, single crochet over the last, either a double crochet or single crochet, whatever that stitch is. Chain 1, and then stretch it across to see what you may need. Chain 1, okay, so that you get a nice finish right here. Continue that across, single crochet here, make sure you snug it up, the chains that you need, and we will end with a single crochet here and weave in our ends. At the end of the row of placing both loops on for our ears, let's go ahead and weave in our ends right here, and then we'll move on. The next thing we're going to do to our face mask is we're going to crochet in some strips here that will hold in a filter to help make it so that this face mask is also safe as well as nice to look at. So let's start on that. So with a slip knot on our hook, we're going to come over here. Let's find our center. Here we have 1, 2, and right here. Okay, you'll see that you have 2 double crochets and 2 double crochets, and we're going to start off with a single crochet. Remember to snug it up, and then we're going to chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we're going to stretch it down here to the bottom. We're going to come over a couple of rows, and then we're going to place a single crochet so that you can actually see that we have a diagonal here on our row here. And do another single crochet. I try to put it in a place where it wouldn't interfere with the front of the design. Okay, then go back over the chains with a half double crochet, and when you get to the end, we'll finish it off. And we will do it on the same as the other side, right here, and crisscross. So go ahead and do that for both sides, and then we'll be done. So to begin, we're going to start with our scarf on the bottom. We're going to start with a magic circle. Okay. And what I have found that over doing magic circles for quite a while, I like to make that first chain tight on my magic ring. Then I'll go ahead and size it back up to the size of my hook, and let's chain 3. I'm going to make my ring just a little bit smaller. 2 double crochet into our ring. This will be considered part of our shell. Chain 2. Okay, so this is what we have so far. That chain 3 does count as our first double crochet. Our next 3 double crochet, and chain 2. Okay, continue on until we have a total of 5 of these little shells. So here I have a set of 5, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's place our finger and thumb on top of our last set and pull our magic circle tail closed. We're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, chain 3. We're going to skip the double crochets, and in our first chain 2 space we're going to make our 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, our shell throughout the pattern. Chain 2. We're going to skip over these double crochets, and in our next one we're going to place our shell, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So to finish our row, as like what we had started here, we're going to add 1 double crochet. We're going to skip 2 double crochets, and in that third one we're going to place a double crochet. And this will be like our carry up. Okay, let's chain 3, turn our work. We're going to skip the 3 into our chain 2, place our shell, okay, let's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to single crochet in the next chain 2 space, snuggle it up a little, chain 5, and in our next chain 2 space we're going to place our shell. And as before, at the end of every row, we will skip 2 double crochets, and into the third one, we're going to place a double crochet. This will give the look of a line. So instead of going to the top of the chain 3, we're going into the third double crochet. So let's chain 3 and turn our work. This is what we have so far. Shell in the chain 2 space. Chain 5, single crochet on over the chain 5, chain 5, and single crochet on the next. Chain 5 and shell. Skip 2 double crochet and double crochet into the third one, chain 3, and turn our work. Let's have a look at what we've done. You'll see this row has 1 single crochet. This row has 2 single crochets. You'll notice that we have 3 loops, so that means the next row will have 3. We're going to be doing this increase until it fits around the neck the way you would like for it to fit. I'm going to do mine, and I will let you know how many rows I have. Continue on with this, and I'll meet you in a few minutes. So after our few minutes, you can see here that I counted past our center one. I did 35 rows all the way to the end, and I felt that it was enough to go around my neck. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our magic circle and we're going to take and weave this in. What I suggest you do is go around this again, go over a loop, and then come back, go over a loop, and one more time, and that'll lock that in place. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to increase on these shells here. We're going to do it for both sides, but I'm going to show you how to do one side here so that we can keep going for a number of rows. I think about 25 to 35 rows. So we're going to chain 3. We're going to place our shell, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, then just like we did before, we want to place our double crochet in that third double crochet of the previous shell. Okay, then chain 3 and then turn our work. And we're going to keep doing this until we have the length that we want, which I'm predicting somewhere between 25 to 35. Remember, we're going to be adding a tassel on the ends. Now to do the other side, we want to make sure that we keep the pattern going here. You'll see here's the wrong side and here's the right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over so that we have the wrong side facing us. I would like for you to have a small tail, probably about 6 inches, so that we can weave that in later. Place a slip knot on your hook. Okay, and we're going to be joining with a single crochet right here in the last and then chain 2, and that'll help carry up. Even though this side had the loops, we're still going to carry it up. Then 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then the double crochet into the 3rd double crochet of the previous row. And then chain 3, and you can repeat. So I'd like for you to keep going to the same amount that you did on your other side, between 25 to 35 rows, however many you did, and then I will show you what to do next. For my strap right here, I added 30 of the little shells. So let's go ahead and start with an edging. We're going to start right back here where the chain 5 and the other stuff starts, and we're going to start here with a standing single crochet. So please place a slip knot on your hook and we'll get started on that. So to begin, find your chain 5 and the first DC right here in the shell. We're going to place a single crochet. So with our knot on our hook, place your finger on top of that, pull up a loop, snug it up just a little bit, yarn over and through 2. Okay, tighten your chain here and tighten everything else down. With your tail, we're going to weave this in later. So let's begin. Chain 2. In our next shell, right here at the edge, you'll see where the double crochet or the chain finishes, right underneath where we begin here. We're going to place 1 double crochet. Can you see where that's at? Chain 3, and we're going to do what is known as a single crochet picot. So we've chained our 3. We're going to take our hook and go through the chain loop and the first loop on the double crochet. So through those 2, pull up a loop and complete a single crochet. It makes it a little bit wider, as if we already added a chain stitch. Then yarn over, and in the same place where we made our first double crochet, place our second one. You see how it spreads out just a little bit. Chain 2, and in our next double crochet, single crochet. And this is what we're going to have. So let's begin our repeat. Chain 2, double crochet into the next shell, chain 3, single crochet picot, double crochet in the same space as the double crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet onto the next shell. And so here we have 2. Gives it a nice little finish. I'm going to show you one more time. Chain 2, double crochet in the next shell, chain 3, single crochet, double crochet in the same as the first double crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the next shell. Gives it a little bit of width and it'll make it look really nice. So continue all the way down till you get to right here, which should be a single crochet, and I'll show you how to do this edge right here. So when you get to the edge of the last shell, chain 4, and in this chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 3, single crochet on top of those 2 loops, double crochet into the chain 2 space again, chain 4, and then single crochet all the way at the end of that last double crochet. And this will put us back on track of chain 2, double crochet at the end of the shell as we were doing before. Continue on all the way around till you get to the inside on the other side of the second strap. This will take you all the way down the front, down through here, and all the way around. It'll take you a few minutes. I'll meet you there. Now that we have a real nice pretty edge all around, we're here at the end of our edging. So chain 2 and onto this chain 5, single crochet. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be decreasing rows. So with our first single crochet here, chain 5, and into the next chain 5, single crochet, chain 5, and single crochet into the next loop. Do that all the way across. Till you get to almost the end of the row. I'll meet you there. So on this row I've placed 34 loops. You'll notice that I stopped with a single crochet here in the last chain 5 of the row. So let's chain 2 and turn our work. The idea of the decrease is to make it so that we will have less bulk on our neck and more so that it will attach to the face mask. So into our next one, single crochet and chain 5, and then single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. You'll be doing this across, back and forth, until your loops here equal 7 or 8, and then that is what we will attach to our face mask. So go ahead and continue to do that back and forth. Remember not to go all the way to the end, but stop, and that chain 2 will help remind you that that's the end of the row. So this is the last, and your next chain 2 will be over here, and you'll see it start to decrease. So go ahead and do that. It will take you a few minutes, and I'll see you then. So this is what we have after we have decreased our sides. You'll see here that I have 9 loops across the top. I placed a stitch marker in the middle one. All right. You also want to make sure that the front is laying down in front of you as well as the mask. So we're going to take the second row of single crochets and we're going to line it up with the bottom of our mask. And in this case, I'm going to take my stitch marker and help make it so that it doesn't slip on me. I'm going to place it right here in the center. Then we're going to start attaching our single crochets to our mask with our chain 5s in between. Let's get started on that. So when we made our turn, we single crocheted, chain 2, and then we single crocheted into that next loop. Let's not single crochet yet. We're going to go ahead and place that single crochet into our face mask. So take and line up the second set of single crochets. Here we got our first one, here's our second one. Line it up and raise a little loop on our mask. Go through the stitching on the bottom, so we will have like this, and draw up a loop and complete a single crochet. Then chain 5, okay, and we're going to skip over to the next one. So we want to line up that single crochet on the bottom and loop, raise the loop just a little bit. Now this first row is going to seem kind of cumbersome, but we can do this. And then go ahead and go through the stitching from behind. Whoops. Yes, I do make mistakes. So let's do that again. There we go. And here's our single crochet and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And we're going to do that all the way across till we get over here. So keep on doing that and I'll meet you there. At the end of the row, chain 3 and raise this up just a little bit and go ahead and place a single crochet on it to hold it up. Chain 2, and then we're going to have to turn our work around. Can't really say flip it. Now this is going to be our fun part, so bear with me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to place another single crochet in up here. And then we're going to chain 5 to place a single crochet and to raise this up just a little bit to give it the same look as the rest of them that are stretched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we might have to go back this way. And then we're going to raise it up. and place our single crochet. Okay, and then we're going to go this way across to the other side. When you get to that other side, I will meet you there and possibly confuse you some more. I hope not. But as you go along, chain 5, raise the stitch up a little bit, and pull the single crochet through here. Now, at the end of the row, which I have to admit it wasn't that hard, we want to chain 3 and pull up our scarf part of our mask just a little bit and place that single crochet. All right, so this is what I have so far. So you can tell that as you raise each row, okay, we're also going to be doing our decreases. So once we come up here, we're going to stop here and come back. What the idea is to fill in all of this area here with the mesh. And I've already tried it on. It's not that heavy because the weight is around the neck and that holds the bulk of the scarf up. The decreasing is to help make it so it all blends in together and fits real well. So let me show you what I'm going to do to get started for this next row. Now, you don't want it to go past the shells right here. Okay, so when you come to the end of the row, if you have to put your single crochet over here to pull your chains over, do that. But you want to come all the way up here to finish with the netting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and chain 2. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make sure that as I follow this row here, okay, I'm going to place my single crochet. All right, so I can skip this section here, chain 5, and go directly into the next. And I think you can do that too. So keep on going, and this will help finish our mask and scarf. I love how the netting look adds a little touch of elegance to the face mask. Now, if you would like, you can also glue or sew beads at each one of these intersections, and I think it'll really add a little nice touch to it. Let me show you what it looks like on. Now, you know I hate being on camera, but I thought I'd show you. This is how the netting looks. And with the extra that we added around our neckline, everything fits smoothly. I'm indecisive right now if I want to add tassels here on the end. Choice is up to you. I think I'm going to leave mine plain. So, thank you for watching and joining me in this tutorial. I hope to see you again next time. Please be safe. Look out for your neighbors. Wash your hands. And remember social distancing. Till next time. Bye-bye.